The frustrations when things break down is so aggravating, especially as widows, because we're used to relying on our husband to take care of these sort of things. Whether it be car or home, it can really lead toward a downward spiral for us in grief. But I've got some good news for you today. I want to bring you some things that's going to help you when it comes to around the house, being able to help when things break down, or to help to prevent it. Geneva Gilsberg, in her book Widow to Widow, says, "Yesterday a wife, today a mechanic." How true is that? It's frustrating, but that's okay. The first thing I want to teach you is you have to be open to ask for help. I know a lot of times our pride gets in the way and we don't want to do that, and it's like, I can do it myself, or forget it, I just won't bother with it. But things like light bulbs being changed and problems with your floor and things like that can become a dangerous situation. So we've got to learn that we need to ask. And God has given us the church, and it's the church's responsibility to come along and to help widows. So I want to encourage you that if you have things around the house that need done that you can't do, I want to encourage you to call your church. Share with the pastor, the secretary, let them know that you are a widow in distress and you can use some help. If nothing else, some guidance to who you can call. That's what the church is there for us. But there's also some other things that we can do. All right? One of them is you want to always keep your appliance manuals handy. All right? Because within each of them, let's say your toaster breaks down. Many times you can go to your manual and you can look at the troubleshooting area, and it will give you different things to try instead of just throwing the thing out, now I've got to go buy a new one. And sometimes it's as simple as something with the plug or something like that. So I encourage you to make sure that you gather those instructions and have them ready. Sometimes when you're dealing with an air conditioner, garbage disposal, other things like that, they may shut down on you. And that's frustrating. What do you do? Well, with some of those things around the house like that, they will have kind of an emergency button. Like if there's going to be some danger, it's going to just shut off on you. But those same things will then have a reset button that you'll go in, and a switch that you'll click, or else a button that you'll press. And usually the button is a red button. Once you've done everything you can do, and if you still can't get resolved, that's when you can go ahead and call a serviceman. Hopefully the church has kind of guided you along to find a good serviceman to be able to help you. But if not, here are some things that you want to remember when you call for help. First, you want to describe your problem. Let them know exactly what's going on. Second, you want to get an estimate. All right? If there's going to be extra charges for traveling. And then also you want to find out what the guarantee is, and also their availability. You don't want to have to wait 3 weeks to get an oven fixed. So those are some things to do. Now after that, call 2 more people. Don't just go with the first one that you find unless it's a referral from someone that you can trust. You need to get 3 different estimates, because it's amazing the difference in prices that people will charge. All right? And also, then you don't feel like a victim. You feel like you're taking charge. And that's a really good feeling. And the good news is, the more you do this, the more you're going to learn. All right? But here are some things to also remember. When you go to call to try to get some help, never let them know you're a widow. I remember in the beginning of widowhood particularly, sometimes I would play what some people say is the widow card. I'm a widow and I need some help, which is true, but you don't want them to know that you're by yourself. And you definitely don't say, well, I'm going to be gone for a few days. Again, you're giving way too much information, things that they don't need to know. All right? And definitely don't say that you're living alone. Okay? So remember those things. That's going to help to keep you safe. So you want to try to create a full house impression. Say, oh, well, getting this fixed is going to help us so much. Because it's going to help you, and it's going to help anyone else who comes to your house. So create that full house feeling as you're talking to them. Okay? So another thing that you want to do is you might want to go out and buy one of the household repair manuals and have it at home. Okay, that's a real quick way, or you can do what most people do nowadays, Google it. You can find out just about anything with Googling it, and the advantage of Googling it is you can go right to the particular brand that you've got the question about. I've pulled up instructions for things many times online, so there's a great advantage. So you don't have to, as soon as something goes wrong, pick up the phone and try to find someone. You take some steps, and that's you're going to learn a lot from that. So I encourage you to do that. Now, when we're talking about electrical repairs, here's where you really want to be careful, okay? You're talking about your life. So absolutely, you don't touch wires, particularly if you're in water or if they're in water, but be very careful about touching wires, okay? You need to find out where your fuse box is, all right? And then find out where the different fuses are for your house, okay? You need to know where the living room, where the stove is, okay? So connect all that up. Make sure you know also how to repower them up again, all right? Usually it's just flicking a switch. If you have the old kind fuse box, you've got to, screw in and screw out those little fuses. So learn that. It's going to make you feel better and more knowledgeable about the home that you live in. Also, we're going to be talking about plumbing, all right? Oh, plumbing can be such a frustration. But you need to know, top of the list is you need to know where your main shut-off water valve is. Okay? That's top priority. Go find it, practice turning it on and off. Sometimes those things take special tools, so you want to make sure you know where that tool is. But practice it so you know how to do it. All right? And also there are other shut-offs that you need insofar as your sink, bathtub, that sort of thing. Find out where those shutoffs are also, because it's terrible to have a running toilet that will not stop. And practice that. What I have found is I had a very strong husband, and sometimes he would turn things so tightly that I could never loosen it. So you need to go ahead and practice it, practice tightening it, loosening it. If it feels too tight, get some WD-40 and just spray it on there, and that's going to help to kind of loosen it up. All right, so these are all important things that you need to know. And this is going to help you, especially insofar as early panic. You're thinking, oh no, what happens if this happens? What happens if that happens? Well, here you are preparing yourself for things that may eventually happen. We live in homes and life happens. Things break down. But you can help yourself by being prepared. Now, what is a real blessing is if you can find a handyman who you trust, and that's where if you can get a referral, maybe from another widow or from the church. Having a handyman is like a gift from the Father. They're wonderful people. A lot of times they know all different things about all different parts of the home. So, and you can pray about that too, because the Lord is concerned about every area of our life. He knows this is a whole new world for us, but He's also there to help us. So I hope and pray that this has helped you today, and that you will do these things and you will feel like you are prepared for life when it happens. Thank you so much for joining us. The Lord bless you.